Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Winning Streak. I'm your host, Bryson, and today we got two guests with us. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
We got Up the Score Show. We two people from Up the Score Show. I'm Marvin and Elijah. Introduce yourself.
I'm Elijah. I'll be on Up the Score, also known as Spiral in the streets, in the East streets. So, tap in.
Yeah. Y'all like us. Bryson be on our episodes too. Up the Score Show,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, let's get this pod going.
So, yeah, getting straight into it, we got just a few NBA, NFL topics, starting off with potentially Harden to the Heat. I've just been hearing a lot of rumors about it lately. I don't really know how I feel about it. I kind of like it, but it's also kind of risky, in my opinion. But I'm thinking you pair up. The main thing I'm thinking is you pair up someone who can pass the ball really well with Bam Adebayo. Adebayo could turn into a even bigger offensive presence, and then he just continues to do his defensive presence. So I think it could work, honestly.
I mean, it's the Miami Heat, so like if they wanted to do it, of course it would work. But
Yeah,
I don't think it's something that would happen because when Harden was in his prime, they were the team that Harden wanted to go to. It was the Heat and 76ers, and Riley just said he's totally uninterested in him because of the ethical parts of James Harden. During the playoffs, Miami is very serious, and during the
yeah,
playoffs last year, James Harden was going to strip clubs in the middle of a series. And then like he's gonna be in Miami. You know how easy it'll be to access like clubs like that for him. And another
that's
thing
true.
is for most of their players, Kyle Lowry's the only player I've seen them really take an exception on for some reason. They're very strict with the body fat, and like Harden, that's another thing that he won't be able to like. He just it's not because of him as a player. It's not because of James Harden the player. It's all the other stuff. James Harden is
Yeah,
still a great player,
no, yeah,
but
I
I
agree.
just think
That's
Miami is
fair. I
desperate
understand
if they go
that
for him. I'm dead serious too.
They gotta keep Kyle Lowry thick, bro.
I don't understand how Kyle Lowry is like the only player that gets that exception. Like everyone else, they so strict with their body fat percentages and all that.
It's
Yeah.
genetic for Kyle Lowry, bro. You can't help it.
I feel like it's genetic for James Harden too. But if the Heat were to trade for James Harden, what would the package have to be?
I was just about to bring that up, honestly.
Takes and
I
Jovic.
mean, I think you throw Hero in there.
No.
No, you don't throw
No.
Hero.
No,
Because James
I
Harden
feel
can
like
easily run the one. So you have Hero, Harden, Jimmy, whoever
yeah.
the fuck is your power forward at any given point in time. Bam.
I'm looking at the depth chart. They got Kyle Lowry at 1, Hero at 2, Josh Richardson at 3, and then Butler at the 4.
Yeah, no, that's nasty.
I don't know about Butler at the 4, but I mean, you could throw Kyle Lowry in there even then. I mean, it doesn't. For some reason, it seems like they don't really want to get rid of him, which is weird. But like
They
at the
He
do
was
same
want to get
good
rid
time,
of
in the
him.
playoffs. I
yeah,
feel
he
like you
didn't
don't
play
want to
very
get rid of
good.
the player if you're sending him out on trade like negotiation missions. That's not a player
Yeah,
you seem like you want to be getting rid of anytime soon.
yeah. But I mean, they definitely need some more depth as well because I feel like they lost a lot more than they gained over the offseason, just kind of waiting and expecting Dame, and it kind of messed them up in my opinion.
What do you think
Like
they lost?
they lost two key players in the playoffs, not like throughout the season, but in the playoffs, Gabe Vincent and Max Strus they had a big impact for sure. I would say they lost them, and they got I'm pretty sure like nothing new over the whole offseason. Like maybe a couple bench players, but I don't really recall them getting much like just because they're waiting for Dame.
I would disagree with that. If you think Max Strus is a loss, you're going to see what he does on Cavaliers, and you'll be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing is, Gabe Vincent, he was a loss. I'll agree on that. But
Yeah,
they got Josh Richardson, who will
they
play the
did get
exact
Josh.
same role as Max Strus, but better. And
Mm-hmm.
Nikola Jovic, I'm not really too high on him. I'll be kind of trolling on our podcast when I'll bring him up.
In the
But
group chat.
yeah. This year he's gonna actually get playing time. Last year was a redshirt year. He was gaining muscle mass, like because like I was saying, there's a certain percentage of body, whatever. I don't know how it goes, but you have to be a certain size to play. And Jovic was very skinny. And now if you see him from his rookie to sophomore year, he gained a lot of muscle mass. and then Jamie Vasquez, who he is what is it? A player that you draft and he's ready immediately. Like he doesn't have the
Yeah,
highest ceiling, but like he's ready day one. Like he's just there for depth. So
ready to make an
I would
impact.
say that their offseason wasn't the greatest, but they got slightly better. The problem is that the Eastern Conference got way better as they got slightly better.
Yeah,
That's what the issue is. They didn't
that
get
is
worse
true.
though.
I feel like what y'all didn't lose in terms of players, y'all lost in terms of like opportunity. You know what
Yes.
I mean? Like,
Yes.
because there was so many like free agents available, players available, like things going around and happening.
Yeah,
3-team trades that could have happened, but like y'all were just so stuck on Dame and like we can't build this team until we know what it looks like with Dame and our post the Dame trade that y'all lost out on a lot of players that would have made your team better
yeah,
without Dame.
I think it came to them just feeling comfortable with the roster and only caring to trade the pieces if it was for Dame. But that would be the only way they care to move on from any of the players because we're satisfied with our team. I mean, we just made the finals. I know it was an ugly
yeah,
run if you want to say that, but it was an ugly run for us too. You said we lost two key pieces in the playoffs. We're also
mhm,
gaining a key piece with Tyler Hero. We're also gaining a key
yeah,
piece with Josh Richardson. So I feel like it kind of evens out and it just comes down to eternal development with Nikola Jovic and Jamie, which is asking a lot from them. I
yeah,
agree. But hey, that's what they're going with. They rather that than trade for Bradley Beal, which you're gonna have to lose a lot of pieces. And Bradley Beal is like an
mm,
awkward fit. Cause like I don't want Hero and Bill on the same team. It's like
yeah.
I'm not running Bill at point like Phoenix is personally. I ain't doing that.
I mean, he looks decent. Like so far, he's played a point guard position in the last game he played that we saw against the Pistons the other day. When the
Yeah,
trio was playing together, they all did their thing. They actually looked like they flow good together, in my opinion. And Beal had, I want to say it was like 10, 5, and 5 or something like that.
Yeah,
Like something around there.
that team is gonna look good all regular season. I could
Yeah.
care less.
Because it
it,
comes down to playoffs. But like
Absolutely.
what you were saying though, like about Hero, a lot I was seeing a lot of people like online and stuff saying that Hero coming back would have messed up the playoff run. Do you disagree with that?
yeah, of course I disagree with that. What?
Yeah,
I
he's a
figured.
Heat fan.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
it can go either way. You know,
yeah,
you can come in, be a 25-point per game playoff performer for all we know. He can come in, average 15, and ruin the entire team's chemistry and momentum. You never know, especially
yeah,
with a player coming off injury.
I know one thing he could do. He could come in and take Max Struess off the court. That's one thing I know. Because Max Struess is not all that, man. Like I'm being honest.
yeah,
He shot poorly from the field in the playoffs. He at the end of the games, he always felt the necessity to take the big shots for some reason. Sometimes it'll go in and he looked like a hero, but when you are
yeah,
Max Struess and you're taking the most important shots, it looks really really bad. Because like sometimes he would be contested just pulling them. Like
yeah.
I'm not
Got in his
too
head.
upset with losing Max Struess to be honest, but Gabe Vincent, that one hurt. That was the opportunity we lost by waiting on Dame. We sacrificed Gabe Vincent by waiting on Dame because we could have easily signed him back. He signed
Mhm.
to it for a cheap contract to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
he wanted to
especially losing
stay.
him to a team like the Lakers, like
You want to
that's a
stay,
pretty
man?
big addition for a upcoming team like that. Like I mean I wouldn't say upcoming like that, but like coming back from the 2020 finals, like they had a couple off years. I feel like this year the Lakers could easily make a run. They're a very deep team right now, and it's going to come down to injuries, in my opinion.
And that's what it always comes down to in the NBA because like you could have your
Yeah,
favorites like for both conferences. We know that the Bucks and the Celtics are the favorites in the East, and what the Nuggets and the Lakers are the favorites in the West. But
Yeah,
injuries happen every year. Every year we go back and be like, "Oh, this was a fluky run because this top three player got hurt." It happens every.
yeah.
Someone gets
There's
hurt.
always someone to blame.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so what you're saying is the Heat are preying on injuries,
What I'm saying is, no, they're not preying on it. They're playing as competitive as they can, and
hoping someone
other
gets injured.
not even that. The Celtics, we don't need anyone to get injured. I'll say that. We could beat the Celtics healthy.
I'll say this.
I agree
If
with that.
KP is playing like how KP was playing in the preseason, y'all not beating the Celtics healthy.
Hey,
I'll say that right now.
That boy was balling. He got to chill out. He got to chill out. I ain't gonna lie. He got to chill.
I mean,
That's crazy.
I don't know. I don't see KP being like that consistent all year. Oh, damn, my focus.
Let's go back to what would a Harden deal be like? Because I think, hey, me personally, hey, Duncan Robinson 2 first, take it or leave it. Take it or leave it, bro. Y'all don't want to take it, then leave it. Maybe I'll add Jovic. That would be the way I budge. I add Jovic.
I feel like
that'd be fair. No, you go.
I feel like the only way the Sixers do a deal, because it looks like they're trying to rebuild, I think they're going to try to do what the Blazers did and in some way, shape, or form get a younger guy, even if it's a guy that may not be the best, or may not be proven to be the guy with like the most potential in the world. I think just getting the young players and saying that you have young pieces to work around is the goal. But
yeah,
I don't think Duncan is that.
Yeah, because like you could just if you're a bad team and you get young players like the Blazers are doing, you could just say like look at the future instead of now. But I mean, obviously it's kind of iffy because you never know how people are actually going to turn out. But like the Blazers right now definitely look like they got it going, and I feel like the Sixers building around Embiid. Do y'all think they should end up trading Embiid if they don't do anything again this season? Like say they make it to the season, their first round exits.
I don't think they have a choice.
Bring up. Yeah.
I don't think Embiid's gonna last past the trade deadline if Harden goes.
Really?
I was gonna say that. I'm getting deja vu from the Brooklyn Nets. Y'all brought up the Blazers package. I'm looking more of Harden, similar to the Kyrie package, where it was just
young players.
It was like Reggie Bullock and something else and 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
It was Reggie Bullock and Finney Smith. Reggie Bullock's Finney Smith 2 first. I'm looking at a Harden deal more like that. You got a player who really doesn't want to be on that team for whatever reason, is still a great player, and as the team trading them, you're just like, hey, if we could get 2 first-round picks and trade the big guy, which was Durant and Embiid, for a haul, we cool with it. So like they trade Harden for 2 first-rounders. And then 2 unprotected first-rounders. Not no swaps, not no none of that. 2 unprotected first-rounders. And then you trade Embiid for the haul. Like that's what I'm looking at it as.
I think the Nets Mavs situation is a little different, just in the fact that the Nets were like super adamant on competing to the point where they were like, we're not trading Mikal, not trading Cam, nobody's leaving this team.
Sense.
Yeah, they wanted to compete immediately after the Kevin Durant trade. So I think getting a guy like DFS makes sense for them. But getting a guy like Duncan after losing Embiid, it just doesn't. I don't think the Sixers are going to try to compete. I guess I could say that.
Yeah,
they don't have their first rounders after this year though. They have their first rounder in 2024. They don't in 2025. They do in 26. They don't in 27. So it's like, what's their real incentive of not competing? They still got Maxey. Like you get, if you get Embiid, you're getting a young star back in the deal. You got Maxey and whoever that young star is. Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, but
Mikal is good enough to build around.
Yeah, Mikal is Mikal.
Mikal is Mikal.
Maxey will
I think honestly he could be.
Maxey. Okay, I'll hot take this right now. Maxey will never be Mikal and never even be close to that caliber of player. But
no, Mikal's different for sure. I agree with that. Mikal's a different player. Like I feel like he's really overlooked. Like especially coming off the Suns too. Like he was arguably one of like the best players on that team during the playoffs run.
Yeah, he's very valuable.
But Maxey's game has to be a little more horizontal for him to be a number one, like to build around, like vertically, like just attacking the rim, being fast. He's really good at that, but he has to slow it down a little bit, make reads and all of that.
He's not a point guard. He's not a point guard.
It's like I somewhat agree, but he could develop. That's what I'm saying. Like he's not a point guard.
Yeah,
the horizontal part of the game. Yeah, but players develop though. But Harden to the Heat though,
that's a lot to develop, bro.
Yeah. I feel like it could honestly end up working. I mean, I'll get like 2 scenarios. He goes and he doesn't go. what, like, both scenarios, how do you think the Heat do this season? Like, with and without him. I say without him, I feel like they always look a little bit iffy during the regular season, but they'll definitely find a way to pull through, like, in the playoffs. I don't know if I feel like there's. Everyone said this last year. I don't think there's like any way they could make it to the finals again this year with all the competition and just with not really gaining anything else this year, unless they do gain something by the trade deadline. I feel like that finals window could end up being closed this year. But if they get Harden, I feel like there is a good chance that they could end up making it if he somehow performs magically in the playoffs for once.
If they get Harden, it's like a boomer bust type of thing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
Harden will either prolong or end the finals window. Like he's just too he's too much of a main character for him to be like the third best player on the team.
I don't like the way he's been talking, bro. The way he's been talking, it seems like he's over the winning and he's just trying to score and be old James Harden.
Yeah.
And if he gets traded to the Heat with that attitude, I don't even think it's even a possibility it works.
Yeah, then if he's the type of player, he ends stuff so ugly that a team that's already like very low with assets, he's gonna make it even lower, and that's when the window will definitely close. But at the same time, the upside of him is like Harden is Harden, and you win a ring.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. I'm if he was to join the Heat, I would try and be what's the word?
Optimistic?
Like, that's the exact word. Optimistic about it, and be like, maybe Harden was like when Jimmy Butler came in, he was just so intact on winning that it rubbed off his teammates the wrong way. Like that's the maybe, but that's the only way. That's the only way, bro. That's literally the only way. After that, I don't. Man, he goes to strip clubs in the middle of the playoffs. Man, I don't trust that.
I mean,
like
Draymond be potting during playoffs, bro. He be potting on playoff losses. So, and they just won 2022. So,
right.
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
maybe he'll have like a good luck strip club he got to go to before he drops 40 in Game 7.
Could happen. I mean,
Harden in Game 7 is the issue. No, closing games. Him in the rest of the playoffs though, he's not even that bad. Maybe Jimmy Butler could just close it out. Like Harden.
Yeah, the games where Embiid was out last year, he was looking crazy good in the playoffs. Like when Embiid was out, he had like a 40-point game. No,
he had 2 back-to-back 40s, but he also had like a 2 for 11 game. Harden has his lows and his highs. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like he's so boomer bust.
Even with Harden, do y'all beat the Bucks? I'm really thinking about it because, like, bro, if anybody has the ability to offensively match whatever Jimmy's gonna do, is Dame, bro. It's Dame. Like, I'm not even a huge
Dame's
like playoff Dame guy, but when he's hot in the playoffs, bro, he's unstoppable.
I don't even like Dame that much, but I agree with that. Like, I mean, you got Drew Holiday on Harden. You matching up Butler and Dame, or who do you got on Dame? Bam and Giannis are gonna have to go at it. If they match up, I'm talking. Or no, he's not even on the team. I'm thinking of the Celtics. God damn it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's gonna be probably
so what's the matchups there?
K mid on Butler or Giannis on Butler, K mid on Harden, and Brook on Bam or Bobby Portis, whoever they decide to play that at that point in time.
I feel like
the Heat could offensively take it, but it's going to be the same situation going on defense. I don't know if it's just going to be an offensive shootout. Realistically, I think
the Bucks and Heat have. I think the Bucks, if everyone is playing how they're supposed to play, is the better offensive team. They got Malik Beasley there, who's a 40-point 3-point shooter, can create his own shot. You got Giannis, he's Giannis. You got Dame, he's Dame. If Brook is shooting and not being playoff Brook, like how we're asking Harden to not be playoff Harden, then the Bucks have the better team. Just straight up. And then if K-Mid is decent, he's like a 17 to 20 point per game scorer. Not expecting much from him. He's 33, or I think coming off a crazy knee injury. Not expecting much, but that team is the better offensive team. It's really going to come down to defense on that. Who's stopping who?
Yeah.
Who's getting the stop for that night? Who's shutting down who for the night?
I think that series mainly comes down to coaching. And
Yeah.
then
We know who
because
got coaching.
they got to get Brook Lopez off the court, in my opinion. Bobby Portis is a very good matchup. Like, well, Brook Lopez against most teams. I'm just talking from the Heat perspective. Brook Lopez
Mm.
against other teams where they run big men is a good option, but Brook Lopez against the Miami Heat isn't the best. He's not that great of a rebounder, so like he lets Bam and Giannis be the top rebounders in the game. Bobby Portis, on the other hand, when he's in the game, he's grabbing boards. He's being big in the paint, and he doesn't just fall off from three in the playoffs. And he also is quick enough to keep up with the smaller lineup. Brook Lopez, he got back issues. He's older. He's
Yeah.
so slow that he gets ran off the court, and
I
they
think
go
it'd be
away
okay
from
though,
Giannis.
because the Heat like to run a lot of their offense inside of the painted area.
Yeah.
So I think that is where Brook is the best. So I don't think it's too crazy to say. It's not like you're picking up Bam at the perimeter, and it's not like you're worrying about a long two from Bam. He's shooting that from the free throw line at the most. Like,
Yeah.
you'll be okay with Brook if he's playing good. If he's shooting 25% from the three, 26% like he does in some playoff series, then you probably will have to sit him because the defense just isn't worth it at that point.
Yeah. I think Bam matches up pretty good against Brook, honestly. Like I feel like he could get some stop, but I feel like overall Bam's just gonna end up taking that most matches.
No, Bam takes Giannis most matches. It's so funny because Butler takes Brook Lopez because Brook
Yeah.
Lopez is so
Shoot.
quick. Brook Lopez is so slow that Butler, if he grabs the rebound over Brook, who is a poor rebounder, they just on to the run. They on to the races.
Yeah.
And it's nothing you could do. Butler's gonna run the offense as he grabs the rebound. Bam's gonna run with Giannis. Giannis is faster than Bam, of course, but Brook is so slow. It's like a bunch of 4-on-5s. That's why in the fourth quarter against the Heat, they kept having meltdowns. They got to put Giannis at center. Giannis is too good for him to not be at center. Like, you could just run pick and roll with Giannis and abuse that little ass Bam, but they just don't go to it for some reason.
It's not for no reason. It's because in the playoffs, Brook is such a bad shooter. You are forced to keep him inside where he can be productive offensively. If he's able to shoot the ball, you can run Giannis offensively as a five. You can put him in those pick and roll situations. You can give him those isolations. You cannot do that if Brook's not shooting. That's why they look so good in the regular season, because Brook is out there. He can pop out whenever he needs to.
He does pop off randomly a lot in the regular season. Like, he got many games where he just shoots crazy good from three, and that just disappears.
Yeah, it really will come down to coaching. I'm very interested to see what the Bucks look like this year with a new coach. Budenholzer never made adjustments, and so I feel like expecting the same old Bucks team, for better or for worse, is not a good idea for any team going against them.
Yeah, no, not at all. Especially with the new additions and everything. Like, there's no chance the Bucks are going to look the same as they did the past couple of years, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But getting into the next topic, what? So,
I was gonna say that's a good way to segue to the next topic: poor coaching.
Yeah, true. Getting into the Celtics issues, there's quite a few in my opinion. Honestly, I got a few noted. I think, yeah, I do. All right, so I mean, I was talking about this the other day about like the Bucks and the Suns. If y'all saw that clip, but like, people are talking a lot about the Suns' ball dominance, which there is going to be issues with that. Obviously, you got 3 ball dominant players, but the Celtics, we actually saw last year their ball dominance issues between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And I feel like a lot of people are just putting that off, like it never happened, and just moving into the new season.
What?
And I feel like
what issues?
The ball dominance between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, because Jaylen Brown was trying to act like he was the number 1 player on that team last year, and that's kind of what messed them up.
Oh, yeah. I think it – yeah. Okay. I see what you mean. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, and then, I mean, they do have centers. You got – I mean, I feel like Porzingis is more of a power forward, but you got, like, Al Horford and, like, Luke Cornett. They don't have, like, a very good center in a center's league, in my opinion, which is what that is now. Like, I feel like the league slightly is turning into a center's league, and if you don't have at least a decent center to keep up with Jokic and Embiid and, like, the big players like that, just not going to work out. And then, like you said, coaching. So, I mean, I was just thinking, like, how do y'all feel like the Celtics are actually going to do this year? Do you think the issues will show, or do you think they'll get past them?
Elijah, you could go first.
I think a lot of the issues that people think the Celtics have aren't as big as they want them to be. They're just like a big topic, a big talking point. So it's like everything feels bigger. In reality, like a lot of things that people say are issues for the Celtics are like are pros for other people's teams, which doesn't make sense to me.
Mhm.
They have switchable bigs. Almost every one of their bigs can play the 4 and 5. Kristaps is a great interior rim protector, not a great post defender, but you have Al Horford there, who's a really good post defender, and he can also go out into the perimeter a little bit with other bigs. Not saying he's guarding wings and anything, but with other big men, he's very good at that. So I don't think that's the issue. Luke Cornett in the preseason has looked really good for them, especially offensively. In terms of their ball dominance, the wings were asked to play make last year. So I think that was a lot of their ball dominance issues. When you're asked to be the primary playmakers as a non-playmaker, you're just going to have the ball in your hands, unfortunately. You now have Drew Holiday, and I'm not saying he's like the greatest playmaker, but he's good for his position. He's solid.
Yeah, he is very good for his position.
Yeah. In terms of coaching, I mean, Joe's not great, but he was also put in a very bad position last year. He was like literally a guy who's just chilling until like the very last minute was thinking, I'm gonna be assistant coach. I'm not worried about this. All of a sudden, Ime's down a week before training camp begins, and now you're stuck, and you're pretty much forced to just take over a team with championship aspirations, which is a bad situation for any coach, much less a rookie coach. So I think year 2, he's had an entire year with the team, knows their strengths and weaknesses, got to build players that he wants personally, for his game plan. I think we're going to see better coaching from Joe this year. So I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried about the Celtics.
That's fair.
Joe, man, I'm not. I don't like how he's just trying to put his imprint on the Celtics team. In my opinion, Ime Udoka, he was mainly a defensive coach, and Joe is mainly like an offensive coach from what I watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like just take the blueprint that Ime gave you. It's not that hard. Maybe then on the offensive side, you could cook up some better stuff than him, but I feel like he's just trying to change them too much. And like Elijah said, Drew is a good playmaker for his position, but he's a great one in the league, actually. Like, now you're going to ask Tatum to be a secondary ball handler, which is what he should be. Maybe even a tertiary ball handler, if you could do it. And he complements Porzingis and Al Horford. Those are, again, two bigs who aren't as good of rebounders as they should be for their position. But Tatum is like an elite rebounding small forward, so you could have lineups where he's at the power forward. You got Brown at the 3, White at the 2, Drew at the 1, and you could put in Horford or Porzingis, who are both stretch 5s. So that also helps out with them not being the greatest playmakers. They have so much space. Like that Celtics team, they got a bunch of things that they got more pros than cons, obviously, but their biggest cons, they are somewhat scary because Drew, he's able to shoot you out of a playoff series, but he plays such good defense that he doesn't really shoot you out, but like he shoots you. How I explain it?
He's also the 4th option.
Yeah. He is also the 4th option. He's a better playmaker and defender than Smart. So they upgraded on that point. It's the them losing Robert Williams. It's like I understand though, like his ceiling is so high, but he doesn't play for real. And they got Drew Holiday. It's like the more I look at that trade, the more I like it. But I feel like that trade put them in a boom or bust situation. Like if they don't win this championship this year with Drew Holiday and Porzingis, they got to move some. They got to. Is that Brown? Like they might have to move Brown and they'll win a championship type thing.
Now that I'm thinking about it, Grant Williams was a huge loss for this team. He was like, he fits like every issue this team has is fixed by Grant Williams. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, Grant Williams was a big loss for real, dang.
Yeah.
And I feel like he mainly got moved on because of the antics. Or no. It was money too. Money issue. Because the Celtics, they got a payroll going on, man. I don't know how they just re-sign Peyton Pritchard before they even got Drew Holiday. I don't know how they doing it. Shout out to y'all. Shout out
They
to
got
y'all.
him on a pretty cheap deal. I think it was about 6-7 mil a year, so it wasn't nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But shout out to y'all keeping the squad together somehow.
And then they also lost Robert Williams. This could kind of transition actually. Lost Robert Williams to the Blazers. Second option on the Blazers now. I gotta say, like, getting into the next topic, I do think that they already are setting Scoot up better than they did Dame in his whole career with the Blazers. Scoot's already looking like he got a better setup than Dame. Which is kind of sad to say on the Blazers end for Dame. Like you got Scoot Henderson paired up with Ayton. That could be a pick and roll. I mean, I think part of this is I really do think Ayton's gonna have a shining year this year, and I think he would have had an even better year with Frank Vogel. I think it was really stupid that the Suns got involved with the Dame trade. But I feel like Scoot and Ayton, they're both pretty young players. Ayton was a first round pick, and what pick was he? Was a first overall, right?
Yeah, first.
Yeah, he's shown what he can do in the playoffs. He played really good in the finals run we had, but I feel like he still has to prove a little bit more after the last year or two he's had. Him and Scoot could easily be a top duo in the league. Not top 5, but like they could be up there. Then they got Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, and Jeremy Grant as their other starting 3. That could easily work out well. And then you got Robert Williams backing up Ayton. So Ayton goes down. You got another hungry center who wants to win and who's very physical down in the paint, who can play defense and could work on his offense, but he can't play offense. And then I feel like they do have a decently deep team for starting to rebuild, but I feel like this team, they're going to already succeed more in the next 3 years than they did with Dame.
Dame did take them to a conference finals though. Like that team with a Farouk Aminu and whoever the other guy was, they had like 2 wings like that, CJ McCollum and Nurkic. Yeah, that was a decent team. I see what you're saying. Like, dude, they set up Scoot better than Dame. That's funny. I was laughing because like the fact it's a question, and like I had to actually think it's kind of sad and it's kind of funny.
It is, yeah.
But who? All right, so Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and AD, they're like peers, right? And
sure.
Then like Sabonis and Bam, they're like kind of like peers. Who do you think is DeAndre Ayton peers? Like
Nurkic.
Who he's next to?
Nurkic.
Like as a Suns fan, you watch. Who do you think his peers?
I mean, like potential, like for this year or like this current
when you
season?
watched Ayton last year, who do you think he played?
Okay,
like?
last year.
No, or not even just last year. Ayton as a whole, who's his peers?
That's honestly a good question. I want to hear what you got first before.
Nah, you're Suns fan, bro. I want to hear where the Suns fans got.
I mean, I can't. I'm kind of blanking right now. I'm trying to think, but it's kind of
bum.
I mean, like not like this last
to
year.
His peers.
Coming to the finals year, he was great, but like the last couple years, he's on like Valanciunas, Brook Lopez level, in my opinion. Like he just doesn't play that great. He wasn't dominant enough. Like he doesn't play like him, but he's on that level, in my opinion. Like he's above Vooch, but like last year he was not a whole lot better.
We talking regular season, bro?
Mm-hmm. Or yeah, you're right. I mean,
we talking regular season, bro? I don't know if that's his peer. We talking Valanciunas.
I'll say Valanciunas in like a little better than Vucevic. Because like he better than Vooch.
He better than Vooch. But
he just looks so
I don't mind Valanciunas.
Year or two.
I don't mind.
But yeah, I feel like Valanciunas is a decent comparison because he can ball out when he wants to. He just doesn't always do it.
Yeah, Valanciunas.
And that's exactly what Ayton does.
Valanciunas. So
who do you think?
He's just not a superstar.
Yeah. So like,
who do y'all got then?
No, I like Valanciunas. That's better than any answer I would have gave. Valanciunas is
Valanciunas is better than any answer I would have gave too, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Offensive, yeah. We not saying they play the exact same. Of course, we're just saying that they're like
The
similar.
level they're on.
Yeah, the level they on. Yeah.
Yeah, what they provide. I'd much rather have Vooch or not Vooch, Valanciunas.
Yeah, me
He
too.
knows his role, but
yeah, exactly. That's the thing is knowing your role. Like Ayton, when Ayton was playing in the playoffs the year he did good, he was playing crazy good defense against like even Jokic when Jokic was starting his run. He was very ball dominant, like as a center. He was doing crazy things. And then this year, like we start losing, he starts hating Monty Williams. He wants to start fucking pulling up from mid range. He wants to start like dribbling the ball more. He needs to like know his place on the team. And if he knew his place on the Suns, we could have succeeded a lot better. If he was a defense rebounding guy, that's all we needed from him. And maybe like 10, 15 points a night.
I'll say this
a lot from a player like him.
In the interviews he probably had before being drafted to the team, they probably did mention building around him and Booker. Coming into the league, it was him and Booker. And then CP3 was there, which was supposed to be the third piece to him and Booker. And now all of a sudden you're the fourth option on a team as the number one pick. I'm so bad at draft stuff. As the number one, as you come in as the number one pick, and like you're supposed to be expanding your game. You're supposed to be becoming this all-star player with multiple different parts of your game, and everyone is telling you you're the role player here. So I can understand why you would be frustrated, why you feel like you're not allowed to be, who you want to be in the league on the Suns. So I hope we see better from him on the Blazers, but
I think we will for sure. And like I said, I feel like we could have for sure seen something with him and Frank Vogel, because AD was great on the Pelicans, but Vogel really came in and did honestly change AD's game in my opinion.
AD was also a second option and not a fourth.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. But I feel like I was gonna say Ayton could have gotten to the level of third option on the team if he outperformed Beal in his position, but it likely wouldn't have happened. But with the Blazers, I think it could happen. Him and Scoot, it's like what you said, like it's him and Scoot, like it was supposed to be him and Book. And I feel like as long as they don't change that, and as long as he is okay with accepting that, it could happen. Like it could change, or it could stay the same. Like if he just knows his role, like you said, he could end up playing good.
I think people are overblowing this Scoot team just a little bit. They're forgetting about because I think people think about who the players that Dame had coming into the league, what they became instead of what they were like supposed to be potentially. And the team was actually not bad. It was it was him, LA. It was Will Barton there as well. Year 2, they had gotten CJ. And then I think year 3, they had gotten Nurk. That team was not bad, bro. It was just the players didn't become what they were supposed to become, which is fine. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you can say the same thing for this Blazers team. It's just a lot of potential, which is what we're looking at. Sharp is still improving. You got Simons, he's good. Jeremy Grant is good, but I don't think he's going to stay.
You don't think so?
I mean, he's a winning player. He's one of those players you can trade deadline for a team that needs him. Yeah. You got DeAndre Ayton, you got Robert Williams. You got a lot of potential. Everybody is if they this, then they'll be this.
Yeah, that's completely fair. Honestly, that's true.
I like that for a rebuilding team though, because they have a bunch of boomer busts, and if they bust, guess what? You got another high pick. Because Robert Williams, he's either going to be a great player or he's going to be hurt all the time. So get him.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton, he's either going to show why he's a number one pick or he's not, and you're going to have a high pick. And then what? Scoot is either going to be Scoot or not. And then Simons and Jeremy Grant are like are they your movable pieces? In my opinion, they are.
They're your movable pieces.
Yeah, Simons and Grant. Like Grant, I think he is the movable piece. Like
I think Grant could have stayed, honestly. Like I feel like if the team does good and he does his part, I feel like he could stay.
He's a 29-year-old on a max contract, I believe, or near a max contract. I don't think
32 mil a year. 32 mil
contract is the messed up part on that.
I don't think you keep a guy like that for a rebuilding. It just doesn't make sense. He's not the vet that you want. Like he's just not the guy that you want, that you need in the locker room. So you just move on from him.
That's true.
Yeah, he's valuable. You could get 2 first rounders from him, maybe from like a team that feels like they're one piece away at the trade deadline.
Probably like the Heat.
Yeah, and I would
Yeah,
like him on the
honestly.
Heat, bro. I'm so for it.
You guys need a power forward. So.
Yeah, I'll love him on the Heat for 2 first.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know, it gave me Google Meet sucks, so we might have to have a little cut in between the videos because it said we got 15 minutes left. It's trying to cut me short.
Oh yeah, that used to happen.
So
with
we
this
might have to
video.
redo the call. So there's a cut at some point in this video, just so y'all know. That's why.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're back. Sorry for that cut in between, a little Google Meet error, online error. But getting into the NFL topics quickly. First off, Jonathan Taylor's new contract. I don't know. I mean, I'll start off by saying it was a stupid idea, in my opinion. I think it was. Zach Moss is showing why you don't pay a running back. This dude, Jonathan Taylor, comes back. It's the first week he's back. But the first week he's back, Zach Moss goes off for 2 touchdowns, and I don't even remember how many yards, after this dude gets a 3-year, $42 million extension. This dude just comes out and shows that the second option can do better than the $42 million running back. So, I mean, in my opinion, it was kind of stupid to pay, especially him that much. I honestly think he's one of the more overrated players I've seen. He had that insane game, and then his name was up there, and then everyone was just on his shit, and then now he's here. And I don't think he's going to perform anywhere near the level he did.
He was the best running back in a year where almost all the running backs were hurt. I will say that. But
yeah. But that's why.
The Colts also aren't bad at like just building their running backs. They had Hines when they had JT as well. They now have Zach Moss. I think you pay him though still, just because of like what he can be, especially next to AR. You know, the same reason that you're lower on JT should be a reason why you're lower on Zach Moss. This is year 1 for him in terms of him being this productive. It could easily go away. Same with injuries, especially with the kind of running back he is. Those up the middle guys tend to get hurt more. So I mean, having JT there, and you have an all pro caliber running back, alongside him, and I think especially next year, it's gonna be great because you can run more dual stuff with split backs. You can run more dual back stuff with AR. Trying to get him to not leave the pocket as much, stuff like that. So
AR stays healthy.
Yeah. I mean, you want to try to prevent, as much as possible, and having JT there because he can catch the ball. So it's like, it's just more options for AR. So I don't hate it.
I've been saying this, like we'll get into it with the Dolphins when we get there, but like teams who have pass catching running backs, like the Dolphins, like the Colts kind of do, like the Niners do, I think you line them up at slot for a decent run of plays sometimes. Like they were doing, like the 49ers did that with Debo. They had him line up at running back when he was a receiver. I don't see why teams don't utilize running backs as receivers more and just make more threats. Like you could do that especially with having JT and Moss now. Like I feel like it would just work out well.
I feel like they would do that with JT a couple years ago when he was performing at that all pro level. You just put him in a slot and ask him to run a drag. Unless like CMC or Austin Eckler or Kamara. You ask them to run anything almost.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't mind paying running backs more. Like, I do think that they're a very important position, and you can see that because they can be dual threats. They can block for your quarterback. They can win you games. But Jonathan Taylor specifically, I think it was a little much that they paid him. Like, I think he could have gone on a 3-year, $30 million. And I feel like he doesn't deserve the whole 42. Just from like what we've seen. Like we've seen 1 or 2 years of very decent productive ball from him. And I feel like they needed to see a little bit more before just paying him that much without trading him or something.
It was also very decent productive ball with him being the only real offensive producer on the team. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, seeing him with other weapons next to him and a whole QB next to him, he might have a even better season than he's already had. So who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you ever do pay a running back, it's while your quarterback is on a rookie scale contract. So it's not like they're salary cap is totally ruined by paying Jonathan Taylor because they're gonna have Anthony Richardson on a rookie deal. They still gonna have
Yeah,
money to work with.
that's true. I didn't think about that honestly.
And
But
this is a good signing for them, I think.
It's
I
not
think
the.
it could work out. It's like we've already said many times. It's a boom or bust situation.
We know how you feel about paying running backs. I'm a Giants fan.
Look. I would rather pay Saquon than Daniel Jones. I'll say that. But once you pay a quarterback, once a quarterback is on their second contract, the bare minimum is 40 mil. And it's like once you paying their minimum, the quarterback minimum wage of $40 million, it's harder to have a running back like that being on your team. Like most of the teams, the Eagles, they pay their quarterback a lot of money. They don't got no crazy running back. DeAndre Swift, he produces crazy, but like last year on the Lions, he wasn't. Yeah, quarterback helps the running back produce a lot. If you have one of those guys who you should be paying 40 mil, Patrick Mahomes, he makes every running back besides Clyde look amazing.
It's the same with a good run game though. Like CMC's making Brock Purdy look like an all-pro.
Yes, I agree, but
yeah.
it's easier for a quarterback to do it than a running back. Like we saw even Derrick Henry, it would be kind of hard for him to help Ryan Tannehill that much. Just because of the pass game option. But CMC, he has the run and the pass. CMC is one of those like he could bring
JT
your
has that
upside.
too. JT's one of those guys too.
JT does, but not to the same level as McCaffrey.
Yeah,
but
nowhere
JT
near
does.
that level.
Nobody's on the same level as McCaffrey.
Yeah, JT does. Though. JT does.
No, I would say this though. I think it's time that we change the precedent for QBs. This is a QB heavy league at this point, man.
Yeah.
And paying QBs like they're still rare and invaluable, it just doesn't make sense.
I know.
So,
yeah, bro. You know what? I like that take. I actually agree.
Because there's a lot of good QBs who just don't have the other weapons around them because they're getting paid too much.
Look at Josh Dobbs, bro.
There's a decent amount.
Like, bro, they just got a guy 2 weeks before the season starts, and he's producing. He's performing well as any QB that's on their minimum contract. So it's like, why do we need to be paying these guys 40 mil when I can go find a QB that's just been in the league chilling and he can produce for me the same kind of way he is? Same with Geno Smith. Geno Smith did the same thing. Came in, year one, new to the team, producing, and it's the same thing y'all want to say about Zach Moss, right? So I don't see what the issue is at this point in not paying QBs this crazy amount of money.
Teams value age too much when they're paying. A little bit too much at quarterback because you could argue Gardner Minshew should be a starting quarterback, but no team wants to build around him just because of his age.
I was just about to bring him up.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew ain't even that bad, but like no team wants to build around him. They rather just shoot for the upside but pay for it. The QB market is just Patrick Mahomes got it in a chokehold right now because how much he's getting paid, and everyone's comparing their contracts to his contract because everybody, when they sign a contract, they want to be the highest paid player at their respective position in history, and no one should be getting paid like Mahomes. Like I don't
no one should be making
that.
$500 million on a contract. It's
that's true.
I still can't believe that contract. Like I'll never.
The thing about it is
that's a long contract, but
the thing about it is he already told. That's the thing about Mahomes. He's not on that contract anymore. Every year. He breaks his contract and signs more APY, average per year, and it makes the whole quarterback market want to beat his contract, and it just makes quarterbacks get paid so much because they're all trying to beat Mahomes' number.
Yeah.
It's like, and then once you got all those quarterbacks like Herbert, Lamar, Hurts, Burrow, you got like 10 quarterbacks that will sit there and argue with their team, hey, I need to get paid what Mahomes got, right? And then they get it. And then after that, you'll see like the quarterbacks one tier below them, like Dak Prescott be like, hey, so Burrow get paid this much? Hey, give me 10 mil less. Yeah. And they end up with 50 mil somehow. Like, what the heck?
I get it. I see how it starts. You know, it's Mahomes. He sets the market. He is the QB to beat. So if you want to, because like when you have a Joe Burrow, his best leverage is any given night, I can beat Mahomes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same with Lamar. Same with those other top QBs. So you want to pay them like hey, if we want to be competitive in this league, we need to have a guy that can compete with Mahomes. And then the guys below them are just like, hey, any given night, I could probably beat Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I could probably beat Lamar.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they get 10 mil less. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but it makes sense.
Yeah. The
I
only
don't like
problem
it.
with that though is like along with like comparing them to other players, as soon as a lot of them get big contracts, and just most players in general, not even specifically quarterbacks, but I think especially quarterbacks, you pay them the big money and the decline starts right after. Like for a decent amount of players. Like
Yeah.
it's way too early to say it for Joe Burrow, but it looks like he had one great game last week. Besides that, it's been terrible since he got his new contract. Lamar had the MVP season, got his money, and we haven't seen a lot from him at all since then. Like it's just there's a decent amount of players who after they get their big money, you just see a decline in them.
Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz.
Yeah,
It happens.
especially Dak.
It's the contract year. It's not that you're seeing a decline. It's that you saw an incline for the contract year.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's true.
man, what's the best? The best example for that, I'm thinking NBA though, is like I think Nerlens Noel did it one year. He had a contract year and he balled out, got his money, and was just on a bench player for the rest of that contract.
In the NBA,
Yeah.
the best contract year player you could have is like D'Lo. D'Lo on a contract year is different,
On a
bro.
contract year.
D'Lo be
Yeah.
balling on the contract year. Hey, that's just how it be,
But-
man.
Yeah, contract year is hey, I don't care about
Great
injuries,
motivation.
I don't care about nothing. I'm going out there and I'm running my check. So
Yeah.
But I mean, could end up working for the Colts, I guess. Like it comes down to like the future. It's like the most of the stuff we've been talking about today is just it could be boom, it could be bust. But
Yeah.
you can always trade him still.
yeah, that's true too. Like his contract isn't too insane where teams aren't going to want to trade for him either. Like it could end up working out overall, and they could end up trading him for. They could end up trading him, keeping Zach Moss, and giving Anthony Richardson some receivers. Then they just need to draft some defense, and they're set probably.
Yeah.
Running back is a position that every year they're on your team, their value goes down. Like you trade JT in a couple years when you want to pay AR, he's gonna get traded for like what CMC. He was one of the most valuable. We agreed he's one of the most valuable running backs, right? He got traded for like a couple third rounders.
For nothing.
CMC was different though. He was at like a career low because he just wasn't playing. The injuries were going crazy for him. I think if you get traded when you're at your peak, it's different. But CMC just wasn't. He got traded low, and it was a real big boomer bust situation for him, you know. And he just he boomed.
But the reason he was low is because how much money he was making, and the team couldn't afford to get him an offensive line. They couldn't afford to get him those things that a running back needs. Because I think running back is the fourth most important thing in the run game. You got the quarterback, the offensive line, and the play calling that just comes in before the running back, in my opinion.
You don't believe it?
Yes, I do.
No, you don't, because you wouldn't be so high on Bijan if you did, because the Falcons ain't got none of that.
The Falcons actually do. The Falcons got a great run blocking game. They have
no weapons and no QB.
The QB, I'll agree with that. But the thing about the QB is he has a run multiplier. Like Desmond Ridder, he in like the read option and stuff, he holds a defender for a slight second. That's how he helps out Bijan. And then the play calling, Arthur Smith, the only thing he does good is call up run plays. That's the only thing he does good. Literally,
he barely calls them. He don't be calling them run plays.
No. Arthur Smith is from the Titans. That's the only thing he does good. Literally, everything else they just traded for another receiver. They ain't gonna do. They just gonna use him as a decoy, man.
Yeah. With Desmond Ridder on the team, that's completely true. Desmond Ridder is just straight ass. Yeah.
Speaking of other teams' running backs, though, how y'all feeling about the Dolphins?
All right, I think so. I don't even. How do you pronounce his last name?
Devon Achane.
I think it's Achane.
Something like that.
Achane.
Zeke keeps saying something else, but Devon went down. I think he's out for quite a few weeks, but I honestly think Raheem Mostert paired up with Jeff Wilson is going to be just as elite of a duo as Devon and Mostert was.
All right, ain't gonna be just as elite, but it's still a good duo. Like I'll agree with you, it's still a good duo. Like
Jeff Wilson was putting up some pretty crazy numbers while Elijah Mitchell was down and as a second option on the 49ers when he was playing.
Yeah, but you gotta remember what I said, that play calling scheme, that offensive line for run blocking. Kyle, look, you don't have Kyle Shanahan running backs and just expect the same thing. But at the same time, I'm chatting
Raheem
because Mike.
Mostert was a Kyle
Yeah, I'm
Shanahan
chatting
running
because
back.
Mike
Yeah.
McDaniels was Kyle Shanahan's offensive coordinator, I believe. So it's like I'm chatting
so.
a little bit. So Jeff Wilson will produce. I'll say that he will produce.
I don't think it'll be the same level, but like I think it'll be like they'll be able to do just as good. I don't think that Mostert's on the same level as Devon, but like I feel like the team will succeed just as good because I really do think Jeff Wilson could have like a breakout year with this insane offense. And like I was saying earlier, you line like Mostert up at slot some plays, or you run reverses or something, it's going to work every time because no one can keep up with that offense. It's the speediest offense in the league. It's the best offense in the league, realistically, other than maybe the Niners. I still might take the Dolphins offense, but the running back core especially, and especially with Devon back, like when it gets later in the season, it's probably going to be unstoppable. You got 3 like first string level running backs, in my opinion.
Hey, Elijah. I just picked up Jeff Wilson on fantasy. Yes, sir. Hey, nice call, Bryce. Just put that for you.
I did that earlier. I already did that, so that's a good idea.
I'm good on running backs right now, bro. I'm so jaded after the whole trade thing happened. Jordan McLaughlin went great for me though. He went crazy. He had like 2 touchdowns.
But so I mean, y'all think they'll? How do you guys think Jeff Wilson will do? We'll go with that for the topic.
I think he'll be fine. I just picked him up on fantasy, hoping the best for him, man.
I think he plays this week, so we'll see.
Yeah. I just looked it up. He got off the IR. He returned to practice on Wednesday, and today's Wednesday. That's why I was like, oh shoot, scoop.
Yeah, I think he's in the best position to succeed. The team has so much going on offense already, as well as this team being very open to new running backs and their strengths and weaknesses. That how they were with Devon. Immediately, as soon as he was like starting to break out, they were like, okay, he's gonna be our guy. They started building plays around him, and I think
immediately,
So I think he's in a very good position. This team is very open to running backs. If they give him the opportunity, I think he'll be solid, at least solid. So
I think the Devon Achane injury benefits Jalen Waddle the most. They're gonna go to the pass a little more, and he was a great option in the slot for like not the run game, but like how he was used in year 1. He was like an alternative to the run game. Like they had him on a bunch of like 5-yard little short routes. They're gonna go to him more on first downs now.
Yeah, he's like a Michael Thomas usage kind of player, in my opinion. Like he's a short route guy. He's a slant guy. He gets the job done. He's quick. He's athletic.
I don't think that's what he is, but I think that's how he was used with Brian Flores because they had Brian. We're not going to get into him too much, but he had 2 offensive coordinators. He didn't know what he was doing as a head coach, but as a defensive coordinator, he's great.
I don't mind Waddle doing that because you got Tyreek beating people down deep. If you got both your guys going down deep, it's just going to let the safeties play back, and it's going to eventually get stopped. If you got Waddle playing in the middle more and just letting him beat the linebackers, beat the receiver in the inside. On slants and crosses and things of that nature, I think that's what's going to work best for them, especially with Tua's arm.
Yeah. Mike McDaniels though, he's from the Shanahan tree. Like he uses all his players in the same way to like throw you off. So like Tyreek will have times where he's the one going short, but more of the time going to be Waddle for sure. Yeah. Waddle could do all the big posting stuff too. Like that's why he's
for sure. He can run fades all day if he wanted to. Like you throw a jump ball up for him, it's more than likely he'll come down with it. Honestly,
we all know Waddle is a number 1.
No, definitely not.
Waddle is a number 1,
especially with Tyreek on the team though.
That's the only reason he's not a number 1.
No,
in reality, he's a receiver that can do anything you need him to do. He's a number 1 for sure.
On a different team for sure. Like there's a lot of teams
he's
where
just
he
on
could
the
go
team
to.
with one of the best wide receivers in the game. So unfortunately, we're not
Yeah.
seeing
He got
every.
multiple number ones.
Yeah,
But
we know who they're game planning for, though. We know.
yeah, y'all want to get into the final topic then?
Yeah, what's up?
All right. So this topic, Tyreek tweeted out the other day. The Olympics just sent out a thing talking about they are looking into joining the Olympics, and Tyreek's all for it. I'm all for it. I would love to see a 7-on-7 kind of thing. So with that, for my team, I was thinking of it like you want athletic players who like who could play both ways, like in a 7-on-7 kind of thing. And I'm pretty sure they said it would be flag or something like that. So my team, I did a QB, 3 receivers, a center / receiver, and then 2 running backs. I had Jalen Hurts at QB, just athletic and good. Then my wide receivers / defenders, I had Tyreek, Diggs, and Justin Jefferson. They're all just super quick and athletic. And Stephon Diggs is pretty big too.
Okay, Stephon. Okay.
And then for center / like receiver, because you just hand the ball off and then you go or block, I had Kelsey, because I feel like there's not a much better option than Travis Kelsey. And then for the running backs, I put McCaffrey, since he's just so quick and good, and then Derrick Henry because of his size. I feel like that team would end up just succeeding in a 7-on-7. And I mean, I don't think anyone could beat that.
7-on-7. I need both the Kelseys. I need Travis Kelsey on my team somehow, bro. Be a linebacker or something.
No, yeah, that's what I was saying. It's Travis Kelsey, not Jason.
I want
Travis.
both. I want both.
He could still
tight
receive
ends,
too,
bro.
Oh, okay.
Because Travis could block, hand the ball off, or he could just go.
Travis can block.
He's a tight end.
Could if he needed.
He's a tight end, bro. Travis can block.
Maybe.
Travis ain't a blocker for real. I ain't gonna lie, but on the 7-on-7.
But I mean, you could have like I said, you could just utilize him as like hand it off and then immediately go out for a short pass kind of guy.
Did you say Aaron Donald?
If we're saying a center is at D tackle, bro, my 7. Okay, hold up. Let me know my 7. My 7 would be. I'm gonna go.
I'm having Aaron Donald on my team personally.
I'm going.
He could be my center.
No. I'm going Lamar Jackson at the QB.
I was gonna think that.
I'm gonna go. Probably CMC at the running back. I'm gonna go Tyreek, Devontae Adams, and Jay Jettis Tyreek, T. Higgins, Devontae Adams as my 3.
Okay.
I'm going Travis at my tight end, George Kittle at my center.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah,
Kittle is tough.
I'll take that. That's good.
No, Kittle is tough. Kittle is super tough. Oh, wait. So on this thing, you have 1 QB, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and a center.
And a running back.
I had a quarterback, 3 receivers, a center / someone who can just go out and catch after they pitch it to him, and then I had 2 running backs.
Oh, 2 running backs?
I had 2 running backs. It was 7 total still, though. So I mean, it doesn't matter positions, honestly. It's just a 7-on-7. There's usually not like specified position.
Yeah, my team cooking, bro.
I'm taking Aaron Donald to run center and defensive tackle. Like he's just gonna he's just gonna stay on the line. If I throw a little screen to him, bro, tackle him. Show me. I'm not overthinking this. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes, man. Why not? Like, hey, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes.
I wouldn't want to see Patrick Mahomes on defense.
That's what I was thinking.
That's my issue.
I know, like that.
I was gonna take him, bro, but I was like, Pat Mahomes on defense. I
was gonna take Lamar, but I was like, I don't know about that throw game compared because Jalen Hurts can throw. He's athletic and he can run. So I feel like he'd be the perfect one for a 7-on-7.
I'm taking Josh Allen, bro. He's ignorant, bro. He's just gonna run someone over. Yeah, I'm taking Aaron Donald, Josh Allen, CMC, Tyreek Hill. I'm putting Kittle as my tight end. I love as much as I love Kelsey. Nah, I need Kittle just for the blocking. Aaron Donald and Kittle, I'm gonna be nasty with the blocking.
That's fair.
And should I run 2 other receivers? Yeah. Just give me Tay Diggs. Give me Tay and Diggs.
That's
Stephon
solid.
could play corner.
Devontae's just so tall, bro. Like I gotta
Yeah.
use him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
yeah, my
then
lineup would be Aaron Donald at center, Josh Allen at quarterback, CMC at running back, Hill at wide receiver, Devontae at wide receiver, Diggs at wide receiver, and Kittle at tight end.
I will
that's
say, if
solid,
AJ
honestly.
Brown ever made it in this, he would cook. He would absolutely cook.
Yeah, oh shit. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. You could even argue that like, because Trayvon Diggs was arguably a wide receiver. Like they were talking about switching his whole position to offense. So I would say you could even argue him or Sauce joining in
If we're
specifically for the
talking,
defensive
we're
end.
talking that, I'll take PS2 at one
That's
at
fair.
one of my
Oh
receivers.
yeah, that's
My
fair.
third receiver. He's like 6'3", I believe, as well.
I want to add one more thing to this. Who are you taking to coach your team?
Offense and defense. I'm taking
It's all around.
probably Mike Tomlin.
I'm taking Andy Reid. Overall coaching, I'm taking Andy Reid.
Andy Reid's defense has never been great, though. I'll say that.
A couple years ago, that's very arguable.
Yeah, I'm taking Kyle Shanahan.
No, even then they were just getting called for holds every day, all day.
That's true. Yeah, that's fair.
Kyle
Shanahan's
Shanahan's
a good pick, actually.
Cheap answer, bro. It's such a cheap answer.
Bro, he's the best coach in the league to me, bro. He already got Kittle and CMC. He add Aaron Donald. Oh my. Oh my.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Mike Tomlin.
That's
I
fair.
think he can make some shake. He's a winner.
He is, bro.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin is a good pick.
Steelers steadily win games they're not supposed to be in, bro. It's actually crazy.
They also never have cornerbacks. I think they have Pat Pete, or they have Pat Pete,
but he's injured.
That's what I'm saying. Like they never have cornerbacks, bro, and they always make something happen.
Yeah.
So I feel like I think he could do all right with some wide receivers at CB. He'd be okay.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I agree with that. But that just about wraps it up. I appreciate y'all for hopping on. You guys want to shout out your channels real quick?
Well, Elijah, you got anything you trying to shout out?
I ain't got no channels, bro.
Man, y'all follow on IG at Spiral Sports Media. My boy just dropped his Western Conference predictions, and also follow on IG and YouTube at Up the Score Show. We go live every Tuesday and Wednesday. Bryson hopefully could be there on Wednesday sometimes, and yeah, that's about it.
Go live right after this pod, by the way. Right after this pod, we better check it out.
This will probably be out in the next hour or two, so I'll make sure to send y'all that link. But I appreciate y'all for watching, and I hope y'all tune in for the next one. We'll see you later.